Praying at work for profits or guidance? That's next. So you want that corner office. So what do? Cut a corner here, take a wrong turn there, or do you reach deep into your gut and do the right thing? David Smith, the managing director for the New York office of Priority Associates, consults companies so that everyone can act like a leader, not just the guy in the corner office. David, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And so how do you teach people to act like leaders? What's the right way to be?
Well, I think the key thing is looking at three parameters: character, integrity, and relational excellence. In the service economy in particular, trust is critical, and you have to earn that trust from your customers. So character, integrity, and relational excellence are a critical part of earning that trust from your customers.
And you get that sort of trust earned by being perfect and moral and wonderful, or what is it you feel?
No,
I feel your pain kind of leader?
Right. No, character is really looking at who we are rather than what we accomplish or the titles that we have. Mm-hmm. And integrity is really about sort of a ruthless honesty regardless of what the pain or the cost is. But it's also, integrity is more about a consistency in our character in all situations. And relational excellence is really this sense of treating our colleagues and our clients less as transactions and more as how can we invest and serve them better.
It almost sounds a little religious, and there's this movement, at least from what some anecdotal evidence, that there's some groups of employees around many different states now who are using their lunchtime, their breakfast hour, to really sort of bring religion into the picture. Is that something that you encourage in the workplace?
Well, I don't think it's bringing religion. It's a question of looking at some foundations spiritually and how perhaps God fits into the picture in a workplace. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that, again, is looking at things about how God speaks about how we should interact with one another.
Mm-hmm. And would God say be a team player or look out for your own self-interests?
Well, that's the big dilemma that you have, is in a performance economy like we live in, it's really about self-interest, but that goes counter to this sense of serving your customer first. So in fact, the biblical principles are in line with the business principles of serving your customers and serving your colleagues first.
Now, let's say there are people who absolutely do not believe in any religion whatsoever. They're atheist, agnostic, whatever.
Sure.
Just speaking to how to be the best boss possible, the number one thing people should do. Because you have CEOs watching right now and middle management people.
I would say to invest in your people. How can you invest in their growth and their development? How can you serve them first rather than serving yourself?
Mm-hmm. And what are some other ideas? I mean, I've worked for people across the spectrum, and some absolutely care about the employee, but you can't really fake it if you don't, though.
Right. Well, I think honestly, it's the type of thing where it's a heart change as opposed to a head change. And how can you experience that where you're really caring and having compassion for others rather than simply trying to make the bottom line?
Who does it right? Whom do you admire out there, company leaders?
Well, one that really stands out for me, that not necessarily companies, Tony Dungy, who is the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and how he led that team to win a Super Bowl. Very different style than a Bill Belichick or Bill Parcells or others who have won in the past, where his focus was on how to grow and develop the players, but he had a purpose beyond just winning. And I think that's really what it's about. It's about investing in your people as much as investing in markets.
Yeah, people who know who had a baby, whose parent died recently, just knowing how to put a pat on the back for people.
Right. Well, it's also about being authentic about how we feel about our business, about our own personal situation, about our fears or failures. It's a level of authenticity that builds an intrinsic connection between our leaders and our people.
Mr. Smith, you're always welcome. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
When cleaning up also